Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you're watching me from. So today is another section with Baptista from cloud to scratch. So if you are new into AWS, GCP or Microsoft Azure, so today this is what I want us to create. If before now you don't know how to create your own VPC, subnet, internet gateway, route tables, associate route tables, keeper, security group, and launching your own instance, you don't have to have any issues anymore because I got you covered. So today we are going to create all this infrastructure and launch our own server on the cloud. So follow me through while we create all of these infrastructures together. I had to number it so that we don't miss any step. So follow me while we move straight into it. The first thing we're creating is a VPC. So we're just going to our AWS account. Again, this is my AWS account. If you don't have an account, all you have to do is watch my video on how to open a free tier account on AWS or on Google or on Microsoft Azure. I had a video where I created 3 accounts step by step. So once you've watched that video, you wouldn't have any issue again. Then the next thing you're going to do is to log into I'm creating all of that on AWS account. So just log into your AWS account and come up here and search for VPC. Once you search for VPC, it will be up and you open it. That is how I came here. Whatever you want, you can search it there. Yeah, once you open the VPC for the first time, you're definitely going to see an existing VPC, and this is the default VPC. You can choose to delete it or not, but it's not doing anything. I am leaving it there. Again, you might want to change the zone where you're working. You want your server to be launched. Whichever zone you want it to, again, you're supposed to consider the distance of the person you are launching the server for, so that their internet connection, it's not going to be very far from their users. But because this is for practice, I wouldn't mind going with anyone. So I continue with the existing one there, which is US East 1, Virginia. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'll click on create VPC but because VPC is the first thing on our table, we're going to click on create VPC. You will be asked, I have options to create both the subnets, both the internet gateway and other things together. Once I click create VPC and more, I'll have options to create subnets. I have options to create other things. But because I just want only VPC, so I'll just go ahead and create only VPC, then we are going to create for other ones. So follow me through while we do that. So I'll just select only VPC. Then you have to name your VPC. So I'm naming my VPC Baptista VPC. So you're going to choose the block you want it to. That's your subnetting. So I want to, since I'm using US, let me still maintain US 10.0.0. So yes, I had to use US. So I'll go with 10.0.0.0/16. I don't want, I'll just leave this with the settings because I'm only using it for IPv4. Please, to know more about IPVs and how to calculate it, please watch my video on internet subnetting. I took my time to explain in details how you can create subnetting and not when to use your public subnet and the rest of them. It's that simple. And you create. That is how to create a VPC, as simple as that. Can you see? There's nothing difficult there. So the next thing we have on our list is subnet. So we're going to create our subnet. Now, when you click here, you're going to see Baptista VPC. Can you see that? And when you open it, you can see what that is linked to it. You can see it. This is the DHCPs, this is the route table. Automatically, it's created a route table with it. So the next one we're creating is a subnet. So for subnets, you see we don't have any subnet. So we're going to create a public subnet to enable us launch our server. Because we've already created a VPC, subnet cannot exist without an existing VPC. That's why you always have to start with a VPC when you want to launch an instance on the server. So now I have options to select either the default VPC that was there or the one I created. Of course, I'm going with the one I created. So I'll go with this, and this is our CIDR block already. So all we're going to do now is to name our subnet. Because I'm using Baptista, I'm going to maintain Baptista all through. So I'm going to do Baptista subnet. Then they will ask you the zone you want to choose. Of course, we're using US East 1, so I'm going to continue with it. Then you are now going to subnet down so that you're going to break it down. Please watch that video on subnetting so that you understand how these are being chosen. /24. That's the next available subnet, and we go. And it was successful. You can see it. My subnet has been linked to my VPC. You saw when I selected it automatically, and this is the availability zone. This is the availability zone ID, and this is the network border group. You see it. So the next thing we are going to do after creating a subnet is to create our internet gateway. But let's create our route table first. But internet gateway, because we need to link our internet gateway to our VPC. So let's create an internet gateway so that Baptista, we are working with Baptista, so I will maintain that name to avoid confusion. Baptista internet gateway. Remember that. That's our internet gateway. And we've created this. It's that simple. There is nothing difficult in all of this. Once you know the basics, you get it. So after creating your internet gateway, you have to link it to the VPC. So you have to attach it to the VPC. So you either click here to attach it to your own VPC you want it to work with. You have to be very careful about that so that you don't mistakenly link it to another VPC. If not, it will be difficult for it to connect to the server. So I don't want to go through here. Let me go through action. So you can either do it from here or from here. And I'll click attach VPC. Then I'll have option to select the VPC I want to attach it to. Of course, this is our VPC. I will select this and attach it. So you see, they are now both linked together. You can see this is our internet gateway and is already attached. That's the state. This is the VPC is attached to. Who is the owner? This is me. This is my ID. If you want to check your ID, once you come here, you see the ID. So it's attached to this and is my ID. So the next thing we're creating is our route tables. Automatically, you're going to see a default route table. You don't need it. You can delete it. But I need it. I just want it to be there. Then the next thing you create on your route table, because I am using a particular name, I'll still maintain with Baptista route table. I just want to use the short form. And again, you have to link it to the VPC so that you would not have issues with troubleshooting later. So you can see I have linked our route table to our own VPC. Then you can choose to add a tag, but I don't need it. This is okay by me. I'll just go ahead and create our route tables. Again, there is another thing you're supposed to do which is not good, is here. You see, the fifth thing is to associate the route table. If you don't associate this route table, you will not be able to connect to the internet. So I'll click on edit. Once I'm on edit, I'm going to add a new associate it so that it has a public access. Anybody can view it. If I don't do that, it will not be visible. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to search our internet gateway. Can you see that? Automatically is out. Then I will save the changes. Automatically, I have associated our route table. So what is next on our table is key pair. We have to create our own key pair, and that could be done on EC2 page. So the next thing I'm going to do now is I'm going to search for EC2. So I'm going to open our EC2 to enable me create our key pair, which is the next thing we have on our table, key pair and security group. So once it's opened, it's coming up. Once it's opened, we will gladly create our key pair and security group, then launch our instance. You can see it. Once you create your key pair, you save it. It has to be saved on your local system because that will link the connections together. If you don't handle it appropriately, you might have an issue. It's very, very essential. Boom! You can see we don't have an existing instance because it costs money. If you have a running instance, they'll continue to charge you. You have to be very, very conscious of that fact. So the next thing we're going to create here, instance is always the first thing, the last thing to create, and also the first thing to delete when you want to terminate your server. So I'll go straight to key pair. You can see we don't have any running instance because, of course, who wants to accumulate money for him or herself? So you see we don't have a key pair, so we just go and create our key pair. I want to use .pem. So I'll first of all name my key pair Baptista key pair. Key pair. So I will select .pem because that is the type of private key file format I want. You can choose to add a tag. I don't need it, it's not necessary. I'll just create my key pair, and that is successful. You can see it has downloaded. You save it very well because you need it. You need to save it where you are not going to search for it. So the next thing we're going to create is our security group, making sure we are not skipping anything. You see, number 7 is security group. We already have 2 default security group. So I'll just go ahead and create my own. You can choose to work with the default items, but no, I need my own. So I'm just going to add my inbound rules. I wouldn't want to expose my server to threats. That's why it's important to add an inbound rule. So I'm going to choose, I am going to allow SSH because that is how I want to go in. That's port 22. Then I will choose for now SSH to only my IP. Should I add another rule? Should I add HTTP? Is it important? It's not important, but this is inbound rule to my IP as well. Good, and this is it. Rules with destination, this, that. For practice, I might not really need this too, but then let's leave it. I'll go ahead and create my, okay, I've not named it. So I'll just say Baptista Security Group. So I will allow SSH access to developers. So we'll select the VPC you are linking to. It is important. Not when you're connecting, you'll be having issue to connect. And you create. And boom, we've created our security group and we linked it to our, you can see the things we IPv4 for only outbound. It's only outbound that we allowed all traffic. You can see we allowed all traffic. But inbound, we blocked it because we don't want anyone tracking our server. So now we are going to create our almighty EC2 instance, then which will enable us to launch our server. So follow me through, let's launch our instance. So because I don't want to spend money, I'm going to use everything free fire. I'm using free services so that I will not be charged, although it's for practice. So I'm still going to maintain my name, Baptista server. Wow, this thing is going down. So I'll use Ubuntu and this is a free tier. I'm going to use it. I don't want to pay. So here I'm going to select our key pair that we created. You can see it. I am selecting our key pair. Then I will edit. So enable. So you see here, I am changing to select our own. I'm selecting our own. Automatically, this is coming up because I only created one subnet, which is public. Then I am going to enable auto sign up. If you don't enable it, you cannot log in. It's important. Then I'm going to select an existing security group because we've created one. Then I will just select the security group we just created now. And I think that is all. This is okay. I think for free tier, you can select up to 30 gig, but let's go with 20 gigabytes. And that is it. We launch our instance. Our instance is being launched. Oh my God. That wasn't difficult, was it? We successfully launched our instance. So let's connect to our server before this goes off. Oh my. So you can see that our server, our instance is launched and the check is marked. So what we're going to do now is to connect to the server. So you just select it. What you're supposed to do is you select the server you want to launch. Then you click on connect. You scroll down to connect. Then automatically you will be launched to the server. It's coming up. So you can see this is your public key and this is your private key. You can see we are here. But there's one thing I have to tell you. If you watch, I've created how many servers before this final one. You can see the first one I created this. It's not just that I created, okay, that's it. I created two and tried connecting them. They were not connecting because it was the subnet was not public. At the time I fixed all, I was still having errors. So I had to use git bash. You can see the error messages I got before I was able to resolve it. These are the things I did. The first thing I did was to seed into my downloaded file because one, my key pair is stored there. This is my key pair. Remember, I told you to save it. This is my key pair. And one of the issues I was having is my key pair. This is the name, Batista-key-pair.pair. But I have been using, look at what I've been using, Batista-key.pem. I removed one of -pem and I've been having issues and that. You can see the first command side. Because I was not allowed to enter into the server from the main terminal, it happens sometimes anyway. And at the time, this was the first IP address I was using. If you check here, you will see this is the IP address I was using for the first. It wasn't working. Because I've terminated it, you're not going to see the IP address actually. So until I did another one, you see where it worked. Now this is the current IP address we're using. Not this, is this. This is the last one we're using. This is the one we're connected to now. This is it. You can see immediately I noticed that it has worked here. I had to go and try it back here, and you can see our server is working here. So sometimes it can take you hours when you run into an error to troubleshoot all of this, but give it time and be calm and patient. If you're in a hurry, you can never find where the fault is coming from. And again, this is not part of it, but I had to do it at once. If you want to terminate, because if I leave this here, it will be accumulating charges for me. Let me check my billing. You're going to see how much I have accumulated over time. It's going to be accumulated. So whenever most especially this is for testing, assuming it's a client server, then it can run. They charge us, since it's pay as you go, they charge us monthly. At the end of the month, they send your bill to you and you pay. But because this is for practice, I'm going to terminate it. So when you want to, let's assume you're working on this server and you want to continue working with it, you just stop the instance. But if, like for me, I don't need it again because I created this server for this purpose of this learning. So I will go ahead and terminate it, because when you stop it, oftentimes you might still be charged tiny, depending on the things you connected. There are infrastructures that are paid, like security group, they'll be charging you, VPC, they'll be charging you, and network interface, they charge you. That's why you have to terminate your instance so that you can terminate others. When you want to terminate, delete anything, look at the internet interface I have in. I cannot delete it. It will not allow me to delete it. Why? When you are creating a server, you start with VPC, but when you want to terminate, you start with EC2. EC2, when you're creating, EC2 is the last thing you create. But when you're terminating, is the first thing you terminate, because it has embedment under it. It has a lot of children. You see, I cannot delete this. Why? Because my instance has not been deleted. Now let's go to, if you want to delete VPC as well, you cannot delete VPC because the instance is still active and running. So before you can delete any of these things, you must ensure your instance is no longer running before you can delete it. If not, you can never delete a VPC or a subnet or security group if your instance is not running. Let's try doing that so that you can see it. This is the VPC we created. Just watch and see if I can delete it. I cannot, because it's connected to, look at what it says, VPC cannot be deleted until you complete the following. You can see server, this is our EC2 instance. It's still running. That's what they are saying. Until you remove the server, you can't delete it. Number 2 is your internet network interface is running, which I showed you. Until you remove the network interface, you cannot delete the VPC. So the first thing you need to do is come to your EC2 instance, terminate it. So once it's successfully terminated, the next thing you're going to do is you delete your network interface, the security group, then you head straight to VPC. When you delete the VPC, automatically it will delete the subnet, the internet gateway, the route tables. They are all its children. They will automatically go. So the next thing now we need to delete is our network interface. It cannot delete successfully. You can see it is shutting down. Let's give it some time to finish shutting down. Then once it has finished shutting down, you now go to network interface and delete it success. Okay, it has deleted it automatically. Let's check our security group. You have to delete the security group. If not, it will be accumulating small fraction of charges for you. You see, security group can now delete because the server is no longer running. Now, I need a key pair. I want to make use of it in the future, so I'm not deleting it. It has to be there because I will use it for subsequent practice. Key pair, they don't charge you for using key pair. These things I'm checking are the things that they charge. They charge you for volume, snapshots, they accumulate few money. So now let's refresh this page. We can now delete our VPC with its children successfully. But if you don't delete your running instance and try to delete a VPC, you cannot achieve that. Now let's try deleting our VPC again. What is it again? Okay, the route tables. I can delete it because, yes, I know I'm supposed to be able to delete it. Once you delete them, you see all the children that VPC comes with: the internet gateway, the route table, the subnet. So once I delete it now, all of them will go with it. Now, if you check our subnet, you no longer see any subnet. Can you see? The subnets we created, they've all gone. You see the internet gateway? It has been detached. So it's a route table that has refused to delete. You manually delete it to avoid extra charges. Extra charges. What is it saying? Your route table is still linked to this. Which VPC is this? 037816816. Do we have any VPC then? This is the VPC I created. Why is it saying is linked to another? 816. That was the one that created that. And I've already deleted 81. We've deleted that. This thing can be funny sometimes. They will frustrate you. You can see we've deleted the VPC it's talking about, and it's still telling us that it's linked. So let's just refresh this page because it's supposed to go with it. I'm even surprised that the route table is still there. The VPC does not exist. The 781 VPC does not exist. So, can you see? Let's check our route table again. Is no longer there. I think it's because I did not refresh the page. It has gone. So when you delete your VPC, it automatically deletes the subnet, the route table, the internet gateway, because they are its children. And that is it on this course. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel, follow me, share. If you have any question, please drop it in the comment section. I'm going to respond to you. And you need a detailed approach that you think is better than this, or you want one-on-one mentorship, I can help you actualize all of that. Thank you and have an amazing day.